Hey crafty friends, are you looking for a card that is pretty but fun to make? We have a card for you like that today. So let's head down to the crafting table. Let me show you what I mean. Here is a double Z panel card. So easy to create. The best part is you can use pattern paper, you can make your own, you can take your cardstock and emboss it for this panel right here. It doesn't take very much to make this card at all, and it is so much fun. So let's do this. The first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock, and this cardstock is 11 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to make some score lines, so go ahead and grab your trimmer. And we want to score 1 3/4 and 3 1/2 on each side. So let's go ahead and do 1 3/4, 3 1/2, and now we're just going to take out our cardstock and flip it over. We're going to score at 1 3/4 and 3 1/2. Now, I want to remind you, all the measurements will be listed over on creativmomentsbyg.com, my blog. And you'll just look for the double Z panel card. Okay, so we have all the scoring done that we need. Let's go ahead and put up our trimmer. Now let's go ahead and fold this. We're going to take this closest score line to the middle on the left-hand side, fold it to the right, give it a good crease, and now fold that top back and crease that. Now go over here to the right-hand side and we're going to do the same thing. Take the score line closest to the middle, fold it to the left, and fold it to the right. And now you can see that we have our double Z card. We're just going to add some panels to it now. Look at what we've done. We have cut a piece of bronze paper and this beautiful patterned paper that has a bronze thread going right through these stripes. It is so pretty. Now, one more thing that we need, the back of this, we need a mat that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because this mechanism sits on top of it. Now for that, I want to go ahead and use a coordinating green color that matches this. And let's go ahead and take this mat and lay down our card right on top of it. So grab your favorite glue, and I'm going to use wet glue. You could also use a tape runner, but it just doesn't give you any time to wiggle. And I want to make sure that I can do that so that I get it in exactly the position that I want. So we're just going to grab this, lay it down, center it top to bottom, side to side, and hold it for just a second. Oh, now look at that. Oh, so cute. Now the next thing we can do is we can go ahead and adhere these two panels together. Now these two panels are 5 by 3 3/4, and this top one is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And we're just going to add it right there, leaving a little border all the way around on this side. Now, you don't want to glue the entire panel down. We just want to put some glue right here. And now I'm going to just add a little bit of the wet glue just down that one side. And I'm going to just adhere it, wiggle it to where it's centered, and hold it down for just a second. And now we have our panel on our left-hand side, but we still need a panel for this right-hand side. So we went ahead and we cut some bronze paper. We cut this striped again, and these measurements are 5 by 1 1/2, and this smaller one is 4 3/4 by 1 1/4. But remember, all these measurements are over on our blog. So let's go ahead and adhere these together. And glue it down to the card. This is a very quick card to make, but it looks like you spent a lot of time on it because it is such a fun and pretty card. Now look at that. Look at this. Open it up, and there you have it. Now, you could always stamp this middle part before you glue it down if that is something you want to do. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a message right in the center of the inside of my card, and I'm going to use Night of Navy. So, tap, tap, tap. And look at that. So pretty. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and color my image. So I've pulled out my rotating platform and my sticky mat. I'm going to take the top off, and I went ahead and I stamped my image. Now, this image comes from Amber Autumn because I love these pumpkins. Gonna get in a little closer, and I already have this colored, but I want to show you how I like to color this. Once again, I go ahead and take blends that have a light and a dark, and I'm going to just flood this pumpkin with the light pumpkin pie, or the orange. We're just gonna flood the entire thing. Now I'm using my large brush. Okay, and you can see where they already have the lines for you. That shows you exactly where it should be shaded. Now let's go ahead and color this one as well. Now I'm going to bring in my dark, and I want to show you the difference. Now this looks nice, but it's still kind of flat. The way to really make it pop is to now bring in the dark, and I'm going to just use the pencil nib, and I'm just going over those areas that they've already defined for us. Just tracing over them. Now look at the difference between this one and that one. Such a difference, and it was so easy to make, right? So let's go ahead and do the same thing down here. And look at the difference. Now, if those lines were too dark for you, you could bring in your light orange or pumpkin pie and just go over the areas that you shaded. And because these are alcohol markers, it will lighten up that color for you. But this is how I color my images. Now, let me show you one that's already done. Look at this. Look how pretty that is. And that's what we're going to use on the front of our card. So let's bring back in our card. We're keeping it very simple. We're going to add this to the front, and then I have stamped Autumn Wishes from this stamp set. Now I'm sure you might already have some beautiful autumn stamp sets. Make sure you use what you have. And look at that, Autumn Wishes. Now let me give you a little tip as to how I went around those edges. Do you see there's some green right here? All I did was I took my ruler and I laid it down on my label. I put a piece of paper underneath, and then I just went around with my blend right around the edge. It gave me a straight line, plus it was the exact color I used for these leaves right here on this label. So it's a win-win. So what we're going to do is we are just going to pop this up on some dimensionals, just like this. Okay, we're just going to center it about right here. And we're now going to add our sentiment, trying to keep the same distance from the top and bottom. And look how easy that card was to create. You have plenty of room to write your sentiment. If you didn't, you could always cover the back here with another mat. Stands up so beautifully. It looks like this when it stands up, so you know they're going to display it on their desk or their mantle because it is so pretty. And so easy to create, right? So are you ready to create a second card with me? Let's do it. Now, just a quick reminder, stay with us to the end because I have 2 cards to show you. I already showed you one, but I have another one to show you just to give you some variation into how you can decorate this card. So remember, we took an 11 by 5 1/4 and then we made some score lines. We scored 1 3/4 and 3 1/2, and then we took out our cardstock, flipped it, and scored 1 3/4 by 3 1/2 again. So now we're just folding to the left. So start with the right side, we're folding to the left, and then we're folding back. That creates our Z fold. And now we're going to move on over to the left-hand side, and the score line closest to the middle, we're going to go ahead and fold to the right, give it a good crease, and fold to the left. And now we have created our double Z base, right? So remember, you need to have a mat because that's what this mechanism sits on, just like this. Now, let's go ahead and take a minute, and before we glue this down to the mat, let's pop it out just a little bit, and let's decorate the inside, just another way to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Knight of Navy, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment right in the center. So tap, 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 and you want to make sure you come straight down and pull it straight back up. Oh, look how pretty. Okay, now another way to decorate is to take your pattern paper and cut out an image, right? And you can add this right here to your card. You didn't have to color it at all. We're just going to add it to the inside of our card. So this was already straight. This was on one of the corners of the paper. How nice is that? And we're just going to lay it down. So we already have that decorated. So easy and quick, right? So now let's go ahead and add this to our mat. We need to do our panel here and then our larger panel on the left-hand side. But look what we've selected. We just found some pattern paper that was variegated and just had different colors of the green that we're using. So let's go ahead and glue that down to the strip. And over on our blog, we not only have the measurements, but we have the supplies in case you fall in love with this paper, right? Okay, we're going to add this to the card. On the right-hand side, and we did the same thing. We cut our panels for the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and glue them together. This might be one of your favorite cards to make because it is so easy to put together, but it's just such a cute card. Now we're just going to add this to the front, but remember, you only need glue on this third right here on the back. So you can use your tape runner if you would rather. I'm just going to add a little strip of glue, and I'm going to add it right here. And I'm going to hold it. And look, so pretty. Stands up perfectly. When it stands up, it will display whatever image you put right here. Now, we've decided on this one to go ahead and cut out an oval, and we used our pattern paper again. So we're just going to put this up like this, but first let's stamp our sentiment so that we know exactly where to place our flowers. Just add our flowers just like this, and we're going to pop them up on dimensionals. Just going to add them. And now all we need to do is add this right to the front of our panel. Now you can go ahead and pop this up if you want, but I think I'm going to use a tape runner this time. So we're just going to add some strips of tape. Bring this in, center it. And look at how quick and easy this masterpiece was to create. Stands up. Think of all the possibilities. Christmas, thank you, encouragement. You could, instead of using pattern paper, maybe you want to take your cardstock and emboss it. Maybe you want to create your own background. There's all kinds of ways that you can decorate this card. So here we go. Let's look at what we have. Now I want to remind you to take a moment, leave a comment. Now I showed you this one before. Once again, we let our pattern paper do the work for us. Pattern paper, we cut out our oranges. We added our little orange from the pattern paper. And finally, look at this one. Oh my goodness, love those flowers. The paper just matches, and you open it up. So what do you think about the Double Z panel card? Take a moment and let us know below this video. We love how easy it is. It's so fun to create, and it's fun to give to your family and friends too. Well, we hope you were inspired and that you take a moment and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and share with your friends to help us grow. As Maudie and I always say, until next time, we wish you lots of creative moments. Bye-bye.